I'm honored to welcome our next guest from Netherlands, Ms. Sharda Nandram. She is Professor of Business and Spirituality at Nerode Business University and the Faculty of Religion and Theology at the Vrije University, Amsterdam, working on Hindu spirituality in society. She's a co-founder and consultant at Pran Group and member of the steering committee of the European Spirituality in Economics and Society and representative at large research in the executive committee of the management. Spirituality and Religion Division of Academy of Management, and she serves as adjunct professor at Banastali University in Jaipur, India. With 35 years of experience in the field of management, especially in work and organizational psychology, entrepreneurship and organizational innovation, and spirituality, she has developed a keen interest in the intersection of management, spirituality, entrepreneurship, and organizational innovation. She has published several papers in prominent academic and professional journals. She holds bachelor's and master's in the discipline of psychology and economics and received a PhD with the Department of Social Psychology. She has studied different spiritual traditions and embodied several spiritual practices while learning them in the authentic ways. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Dr. Sharda S. Nandram.
Namaskar and good afternoon all. I hope you're still awake, because some of you fall asleep, I can see. It's a long day. My presentation is about embracing spirituality in management and society, as I'm professor in these two areas. I prepared a PowerPoint and I hope they will be able to do it. What I want to talk about is that why is it important to embrace spirituality in management and society? In the past 20 years, I've been working on bringing spirituality to the context of management with a team of researchers, and it means that I'm also introducing spirituality to science, scholarly field. So here I'm standing as a scholar, a researcher, a professor, you may say, and that means that I have conceptualized spirituality. So why is it important? It is important to conceptualize spirituality because it is innate to human beings. Spirituality is something that everyone has an opinion about because everyone can feel it. So you can say, what is the need to talk about spirituality? It is very much needed. I think when I go back to my research 20 years ago, many of my colleagues would say, why should we talk about spirituality in management? But now I'm PhD, a lot are convinced. Because we are dealing with a lot of big questions. And spirituality, the way I'm looking at it, is talking about the unknown. And you know what, actually, when we, with our first breath, when we enter the world, so there will not be any PowerPoint, which I delivered on time, but anyway, let's do it this way. So, spirituality, when you enter the world with your first breath, I think we are dealing with spirituality because we are coming in a world which is not known to us. When we are leaving the world, we are scared, heavily scared, because also we are entering a world of the unknown, what will happen after that. And what we don't do is, in between the birth and death, actually we don't give much attention to spirituality. And I think because we spend a lot of our time in management and professional context, it is important also to take that aspect into account in your daily life, in your professional life. So, what I wanted to say as a main message after analyzing the current state of the world is that we need to go from, actually we need to have a radical shift from a meaning-centric approach to a meaning-centric approach. Let me talk a bit about it. I've analyzed the current state from three lenses. The first one is the FUCA world. FUCA stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and what is happening? Do you have the PowerPoint now? Can I get the... Okay. So, yes, this will be my main message. So I'm starting to say that I'm going to talk about how to embrace the management and society, and I'm giving the answer. So the answer is that we have to shift to meaning-centric paradigm. And another thing is, because many of you in previous speeches have talked about spirituality and relating it to scriptures and relating it that it's important in life, I'm bringing spirituality as a worldview. Why a worldview? Because everyone, whether you are religious, not religious, whether you are born in India, living in India, or outside, everyone has a view of the world. Everyone has a view of themselves. You know, it's a mirror, kind of. We say, the ground. So we have an inner world and we have an outer world. And spirituality is trying to connect us. So in that connection, if we are talking about a worldview, it means that we are going to invite many more people also with science. And in the context of science, we have been looking at it mainly as something mystical. But slowly we are entering it, or bringing it to the world in more, in a way that scientists, scholars can also embrace it. So the state of the world, what I've talked about is the analysis of the FUCA world. I think everyone has experienced some kind of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity also. How constantly in a different culture, maybe some things are seen in a different way. If you want to understand FUCA much more, you can go to the global risk. And that's the second lens I'm using. And the global risk is something that the World Economic Forum is looking at, and I'm using the report of 2023, where they have been looking at different kinds of risks. And these risks have been clustered. The economic risk, it has been clustered. You can go please to the next slide. It has been clustered into societal risk, environmental, technological, economic. And the next thing is that they have been seeing that the problems are connected. So then the logical answer is, if the problems are connected, then the solutions we should also seek in that connectedness. But oftentimes, the whole academia is so much specialized within the disciplines, and all the disciplines are important in themselves, but who's then looking at the connection? So, in the past 10 years, I'm also advocating that we have to build a new discipline, which we call the discipline of the unknown, so the discipline of bringing spirituality to the scientific world. So if we are dealing with problems that are connected, we have to go to a different kind of infrastructure. I will talk about the infrastructure that I'm proposing, but my third lens was also looking at how science has been contributing in the last years, from 1950. Next slide, please, with the graph of descriptive science. And here I'm talking about, next slide please. Here I'm talking about the decline in the role of science. And, you know, this is the destructive aspect. I'm not saying that science is not contributing at all. They're contributing in an incremental way. This is an article based on 45 million of articles, and I think 4 million patents, and they have been analyzing it and publishing it in the scientific journal of Nature. and they see that there is a decline. So you can ask yourself, do we as scientists really contribute? Because if we don't come with new principles, how will we add to the big problems and also the problems of the COVID crisis? Yes, next slide please. So then, as a person working in the university context, for me it's very important to see, to rethink what is it that we have to do. So in that context, it is important to see that what are the actions, what are the basis for actions if we don't, we can't trust on the new principles of science, because there are not many new principles coming. What will we do then? What would be the base for actions? Next slide, please. My analysis of what is then the root cause by looking at these three lenses is that actually we have been too mean-centric. There has been the third industrial revolution, before that the second, the first, and now we are entering the fourth industrial revolution. And with all these revolutions, we are building a lot of new insights, technologies, we are coming with new products, and for all these products, we need to mobilize people to buy them. So we are kind of going to the resources, and we are depleting resources in that process. I'm not saying that all these industrial revolutions have not contributed. They are contributing in a way, but mainly from a materialistic perspective, because it's all about needs. And it's worrisome. It's worrisome because we are running after, in the ways of getting needs, we are running after one need to the other and endlessly, and so we are not happy. So it is important to shift to a meaning-centric context in organizations, in society. And for the meaning-centric approach, I'm introducing spirituality, because based on 140 definitions, we have built a meta-definition where we say spirituality is a quality. Sometimes people think it's something inside, sometimes people are talking about spiritual technique or fulfillment. I'm talking about spirituality as a quality to connect, a quality which you become aware of, to connect between the perceived existence and beyond perceived existence. Especially in scientific context, what we are doing is those things that we don't know, we are bringing into the known field. So we are connecting non-perceived existence, perceived existence, but not in the way that we are giving the acknowledging as the way of knowing, as a prominent way of knowing. What we are forgetting is the why. We are using a lot of means, we are totally forgetting why is it that I need the means. So in the new approach of a radical shift that I think we are going through, or we need to go through, is that we have to rethink whether we use the means in an efficient way, whether we need them, and in that process also we need to bring in different ways of knowing. Next slide, please. Please go to the next slide. There is a graph. So we have to rethink how we use the means. This is what I told you. Next slide, please. Which is a graph which I want to explain a bit more. Yes, please say. So, in my approach, if I'm talking about spirituality, so spirituality is not something that I am inventing, it's something which is there, all cultures have it, because I'm talking about this unknown aspect. And in scholarly work, we have, if we send our children to school, they know a lot cognitively, it's all put in a logic way, listening is important. So I'm talking about spirituality on a continuum of knowledge. And the knowledge, I put it in four brackets. The first part is knowledge which you can know, like a child going to biology class and after the session knows it, wisdom is there. And then we get shift to another part which is unknown, like maybe going to the next class, deepening the knowledge on biology. So it's still using the same infrastructure. Same infrastructure, logic, reasoning. Now, what we notice as human beings in our private life, if we do big things, decisions in our lives, weddings, or we get married, we buy a house, we are not using only that reason. We are moving towards that experience, the truth. And in that experience, we also use intuition, common sense. And what I'm seeing is that in the scholarly context, in the management context, in the professional context, there is not enough room for that. So it's important that if we're talking about moving towards the meaning, from meaning-centered to meaning-centered, that we also embrace that aspect of knowledge. But the most important thing is when we really want to bring spirituality is the unknown, embrace it in a humble way. Because there are many things we don't know, and sometimes scholars talk about as if they know everything, but that humbleness is the way forward. It will help us to explore, it will help us to explore the infinite potential in us. And I think that there is, next slide please. See, in the first time talking about the main aspect of knowledge is reason, then you can talk about beliefs. We are brought up into certain cultures, we have seen our parents working in some way. These are beliefs, and also there is place for faith. So in my viewpoint, spirituality, I'm not fighting with religion, I'm giving religion a place, because it's a continuum of knowing, and it's innate to human beings. And I think that's the main thing that I'm doing with my work in the past 20 years, and I hope that we will build a separate discipline of the unknown. And I think there is place for everyone. If you go to the slide with the colors, please. Next slide, please. Let's say something, because this inspires me a lot. Because, if we look at many of the problems, the holy crisis, can we solve it in the same way? The base of the problem was created in a certain way. If we are going to use the same approaches, I don't believe we will be able to solve them. Especially this holy crisis where things are interconnected. So we have to think differently, we have to think integratively, we have to think holistically, gain more perspectives, integrated in the sense of what is the commonality, what is the coherence that we can get. So the infrastructure that we need if we want to embrace spirituality and management and in society is that infrastructure is that we have to be open to the unknown and to acknowledge the unknown. And I think, next slide please, I think there is a place for everyone. There is a place for everyone because I'm encouraging people to shift from K1 to K3 and embrace K3 and especially also acknowledge K4. And in the next slide I'm trying to bring my model back and say that there is space for all types of professionals. And here you see, I'm talking about the K model, K knowledge on a continuum. We say you can move from K1 to 2, 3, 4, but also the other way around. So what we are doing is, for example, in such gatherings, we do some of the rituals, like in the morning, then we are evoking actually the K4. Because that's the happening. That's not something that you say, you might feel very much bliss doing this, but you don't know. It's not something that you control. It's not that you say, this is my input and this is the output I will achieve. So in that process, there is space for spiritual gurus, masters. If you move towards the more the known part, where we edify scholars, I think that is what scholarly work is about. That thing that was not known, you are bringing it to the known ground. And it is an approach which will help, or which is helping also different kinds of industries. Because sometimes for them it's really an eye-opener seeing that, we have been acting a lot only in the paid one dimension. Everything is logic. Everything should be argued through Excel or calculation. And you see that if we are talking about problems that are connected, we need to bring and embrace different ways of knowing, also in scholarly work. Thank you.